Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I am so excited for this episode of Nailed It because it combines two of my favorite things, blush and Katie Jane Hughes. Yes, if you guys are new to my channel, welcome by. But if you're not new, you probably know that I am a big lover of Katie Jane Hughes. I just think that she is a brilliant makeup artist. Obviously, I don't know her in person, maybe someday, goals. But anyway, I really think that she just seems like such a real, honest, tells it like it is person. And I adore every single look, every single makeup look that she does, honestly. So when the collaborative group of Nailed It artists sort of goes over looks, I have like thrown out Katie Jane Hughes look after Katie Jane Hughes look. And this is the one that we chose to do for today, partially because, you know, it is such a fun modern take on a Valentine's makeup look. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there. I think that this is just a lovely, light, fresh look. It's a great way to still have some structure to the face. If you guys are wondering, I'm looking at it right here, by the way. And I think that this is gonna be good, like going into spring. And you guys, I am so ready for spring. I know we're not even there yet, but it is like, I think it was a high of 3 degrees today or something like that here. So I'm ready for spring. I think this is going to be a pretty fresh look. So if you are new to the Nailed It Challenge, first of all, I have to say that this group was created by Lexi Zhang. She's sort of allowed us to come in and, you know, create the looks that we're interested in. I love how the group of content creators sort of changes from week to week. You get to see a ton of great looks. So I will make sure to have Lexi's channel and all of the other content creators taking place in this challenge listed down in the description box. So please make sure to give them a look. Now, the one rule, there is only one rule to Nailed It, and that is don't buy anything new. You can't purchase any new products to recreate the look. It has to be from things in your collection. Luckily, since this look is mostly centered around beautiful skin and blush, and Lord knows I have plenty of blush, we should be okay. Now, in our Nailed It collective, if you will, it isn't necessarily about hitting it on the head and recreating it to a T. That's not necessary if that's not where you want to go with it. You can take inspiration from it, make it your own. However, since I'm a total Katie Jane Hughes fangirl, I do want to emulate it as close as possible, given that we have very different structure to our face. But I am going to give it the old college try, as they say. Why don't we jump right into this? Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and prep our skin. Now, if you don't follow Katie Jane Hughes on Instagram, first of all, go over there right now. Pause this video, go follow her. But if you do follow her, you know she really loves a glowy skin, a very dewy, natural look. That is my personal favorite as well. You know, I feel like less coverage is more most of the time, but do as you choose, but we definitely have a good glow here. So I am going to use my Glow Lust from Auric. I'm definitely enjoying this. We're gonna use the shade Morganite today. I do think I am mostly going to place this through the forehead, through our cheeks and chin. I do personally like to avoid my nose because my nose just gets glowy AF as is, but we're gonna lay a little bit of this down on the skin. Now, I am choosing to put this underneath my foundation just to really give that like lit from within look. Ugh, and I know that that is like this phrase that is used here in the beauty space, and it's it's so overused, but it is really the truth. It doesn't look like she has a lot of like highlighting product on. It's just that beautiful, glowy, fresh look. So we are going to work this up and out. Now, I'm not gonna put too much up here on the cheek. We're really going to focus on the blush in those areas. So I just wanna kind of like have this almost like spotlit look. So where the light is really hitting the face and we're getting that beautiful glow. So we will just work this into the skin. I am definitely loving this Glow Lust. If you guys didn't see it, I did a live using this product in several different ways with a couple shades. So if you want to check that out, I'll make sure that that is in the description box. If you want to know my full thoughts on this product, I'm trying to get through my MAC Studio Water Weight Foundation, so I'm going to cocktail this with a bit of the MAC Face and Body. You guys can see these are like very different shades. This one I bought after a vacation, and this one I bought in the dead of winter, which is obviously where we are right now. But I do think that adding a couple drops of this Face and Body into this one is going to give us a bit of that glow, a bit of that like natural radiance. Katie is looking nice and bronzy here, not overdone, not like super summer bombshell, but like just has a bit of dimension to her face. So we will be doing that as well. But to give myself a boost, I'm going to add a couple drops of this into the Water Weight Foundation and then just working that into the skin. Okay, so you guys can see, I think This skin combo is so pretty. I truly love both of these foundations. Actually, I've had them for quite a while. I'm trying to get through them. Honestly, this Face and Body though is so dark. Like, it would have to be like August or like after a 2-week vacation for me to ever be this shade again. I don't know what I was thinking, but it is a nice mixer to add in to other foundations that are too light or that I'm trying to get a bit of more of like a sheer glow to, because I mean, look at this. And again, I did not place the Auric like any further out. That is just lovely luminous glow. I think that Katie would approve. So I think today I am going to go through with the Jouer Essential High Coverage. And honestly, we're just gonna buff a little bit of this into the skin. You know, even looking, and that's one thing that I can truly appreciate about Katie, like even looking, if I look really close up at this picture, it's not like she has 100% coverage. Like you can still see a bit of the, I mean, it's not like she has a lot of darkness, but you can see a little bit of a darkness in her inner corner. It's not like everything is like masked over and flawless. I mean, she's flawless, but like it's not 100% coverage, if you will. I feel like I'm going to offend Katie in some way, and it's not like she's ever gonna actually see this video. But I'm trying to be like, she is lovely and beautiful and wonderful and a goddess, but she doesn't have like a cake face on, which is one of the things that I love about her. We have very like similar aesthetics as far as that goes. All right, we're just gonna take this Real Techniques, what is this? The Deluxe Crease Brush. I hope it isn't actually, it's a deluxe crease brush. Is that gonna make my concealer crease? I hope not. No, really, I'm just gonna buff this into the under eye, right around that area, just to give it a bit more coverage, but still look very skin-like. All right, I am very happy with that. I definitely get quite a bit of darkness in my inner corner, so I wanted something to give us a bit more coverage, to cover up a little bit of this discoloration from previous acne. And now I'm feeling good. So to go through and give the face a little bit more dimension before we add our blush draping, I'm gonna go through with the Fenty Cheeks Out Cream Bronzer. This is the shade Macchiato, number 3. We're just gonna buff a little bit of this into the skin to get a little bit of that like kiss of color. I'm gonna go through with this Baddington Beauty brush. I don't even know if I've ever used this. I need to do a declutter of brushes, so that means that I need to use the brushes that I have not used to know if I want to keep them around. So we're gonna do it right here, but I'm just gonna work some of this into the hairline and again, just give a little bit of sculpture to the face. Now, when we talk about blush draping, I mean, really, this was a technique that was very popular in the 80s, and it was really a way to almost contour the face using blush rather than like contour and bronzer and all of those things, you know, that we're using these days. I like it. I think that this picture, and I've seen Katie do blush draping many a time, but I think that this picture is a really wearable way to do this. It's soft, so if it's a look that you're into, you know, you can do it without feeling a little too avant-garde and editorial. I mean, you can certainly work your way up into some of those more like, you know, editorial tones where it's much brighter or much less diffused, I guess I would say, which I love that look too. I just love this. I have honestly been wanting to recreate this look for a while, and I kind of brought it to the Nailed It team, and you know, we had plenty of techniques on our plate, and so when Lexi was like, you know, this would be a good one for Valentine's Day, I was like, yes, this is the perfect Valentine's Day look to me. I think that my Valentine, Jeremy, he will appreciate this look because the skin is not too much, you know, it's just a bit of a glow. He really likes it when I'm very minimally made up, but I think that like soft, fresh, like rosy look is going to be something that he enjoys. I feel like this is something that he will enjoy, the artistic part of it, but it's not so out there, and it's definitely, you know, still a wearable look. So I am just using a bit of that cream bronzer to add a little bit of dimension through the cheek. Now, I know that Katie used the Revlon blush in Apricot. That is something that she mentions in this photo on Instagram. And as I had said, I will make sure to link her Instagram down below. But I really think that having a bit of that depth is going to be good. And it could just be the lighting, but I do feel like she has some depth using a bronzer, but you definitely get more of that like sculpted effect from the blush. But we're just starting off with a little bit of this. Oh, I haven't used this bronzer in a while. I'm glad I brought it back out. I wanted something that has a thinner texture, something that I can like pop a bit of powder over and not start to feel like too layered up. I considered using a cream blush for this look. I just think like to buff it out and get a little bit of that diffuse and blur, I'm gonna go ahead and go through with some powders, but I wanted a cream that's gonna lay underneath those powders really nicely, and Fenty did not do me wrong. All right, now we're gonna go through and very lightly dust the face with the RCMA No Color Powder. You guys know I'm trying to get through this one, trying to get through some of it this year. So I am going to dust this everywhere, keeping it very, very light though. I know Katie is not a huge powder user, just like myself. Like, you want to dust the areas that you tend to get a little too sheeny with, but since this is a fairly glowy look through here, I'm going to be okay not using a ton. Where I want a bit of that powder is to make sure to put it back here so that we don't get any skipping when we go through and blur out our blush. So I did just show this in a recent video, but really all I do with this powder is shake a bit onto the lid and then just use that. And that's usually enough for my whole face, or at least very close to it. So I'm actually going to start on the outside and on my eyelid as well, like where my concealer is, and then just very gently bring this in. Now I'm using a really light hand with this. I love this Fenty Beauty brush. Oh, that's funny. I'm using 2 Fenty products today. Didn't even realize that, but I do really like this powder brush from Fenty. It's the 170 setting brush, and I have gotten 2 of these. I really like it. I got one, I think the first one I got was just because it's so pretty, and then I picked up another one just because I like it so much. So it is definitely a favorite. You can see that powder didn't take away any of the glow. We still look very nice and satiny, like a glowy satin. This just is going to make sure that we don't have any tackiness when we go over with our blush. So when I think of getting a really blended look when it comes to blush draping, I like to use a couple shades, and that's really almost like using 2 shades on your eyelids. Why am I doing this so much? I'm gonna put the hands away for a minute. It's just like when you use 2 shades on your eyelids, you have a softer, usually lighter shade through the transition and the crease, and then you have something more impactful on the lid. So just to get that like very blurred out look. So we're gonna do the same thing. This also helps me like map out the shape a little bit, because if I go through with a lighter color and it's not quite where I was wanting to go with it, I can usually just take a light brush that doesn't have anything on it, or even the one that I used for my setting powder, and just buff that away. So this will sort of help us like map out our shape. So I have 4 blushes sitting here. We're not gonna use all 4 of them. I just couldn't decide where to go, but I am gonna start out with the Clinique Cheek Pop in Melon Pop. I've had this one for quite a while. This blush is very light. You definitely have to build it, which I think is going to be really beautiful for this, because I can just dust a bit of this on and then we can kind of see where we want to go from there. All right, so first things first, I'm actually going to work the eye shade on first. Then that way I can kind of like build the cheeks into it. So I'm going to take that Melon Pop, and I've got the BK201, and I'm just going to run this over the entire lid and up into the crease. All right, 2 things. I decided I should probably zoom you in so you can see what's going on. And also I realized that my microphone wasn't on, so I plugged that in. So hopefully the beginning audio to this video was okay. So anyway, back to the face. So you can see that this Melon Pop on the eye, it just gives a hint of color. And I'm okay with that, because I want this to help me blur out, you know, the future shades that we lay down. So I think I'm just going to work this into the skin as we go along. So I'm gonna take the BK108 and just pop a little bit of this and like travel it up and into that eye look. Well, we don't really have an eye look started, the beginnings of the eye look. So I like it's not like a super tulip shape, but it is a bit like tapered on the ends. Now, the thing that I think that is essential to blush draping is you really need to work this into the hairline. Otherwise, it just doesn't look as like windblown, if you will, as like swept. So I definitely like to make sure that a bit of that is worked back. Now, Katie is a gorgeous creature with like amazing structure to her face, so we won't get quite that like magic, but we're gonna do the best we can. So again, you have to think of this almost as like a transition shade for your face. So I'm making sure to pull it all down and a bit, maybe even slightly past where I want it to be, because I want it to blur that edge of where the next shade we lay down will go. Now, one thing that I would say is, especially if you were going to be putting a blush like into the, I guess I would say like hollow of the cheekbone, like above where that cheekbone lays, make sure that you're not using anything too shimmery, because the metallicness, the reflectiveness, if that's not hitting the light right, it can almost like sink it in a bit. So if you do have something that's a bit more sheeny, just try to keep that part of that blush onto the cheekbone. This one is obviously, you know, just more of that like matte to satin finish. So I'm working that into that recess right there, without worries of having it look, you know, too recessed in certain lights, because we obviously don't want to look like scooped out on our face. Maybe scooped out down here, but not sunken in eyes. It is currently, I don't know, 10:30. Yeah, 10:30 at night, and I was having a raging headache earlier today, and so I took a nap. So I'm all discombobulated. I feel like this video is going to take a while to edit because my words and thoughts have not been syncing up very well. So I apologize. All right, so now that I feel like I have the beginnings of that laid down, I can sort of like see the shape starting. Now I have to decide which of these two I want to use. So I have two blushes. One is Balm Springs from The Balm, and we have I Need Space from ColourPop. I think I'm going to go with this one, mostly because this one I use a lot. This is one of my favorite all-time blushes. It's a little bit more neutral, and this one has a little bit more of that rosy tone to it. And in all honesty, I think I've maybe used this one twice. So this is gonna be a great way to get some use out of it. But because I have only used it twice, I'm definitely going to pop it onto the eyes first, just to make sure it's not too pigmented, that it's gonna be the right tone. So again, we're just gonna start with that and go from there. So this is a separate 201 brush. I do have a couple of these BK 201s, and this one I'm just working a bit closer to the lid. I might end up going through with like a packing shader brush to use this, but this is what I'm using for now. And I'm just going to like push this into the crease a bit. Now, Katie has such wonderful bone structure that like, she always has that like depth right here. Now, when I have most of that color worked off of that brush, I'm just using some circular motions to blend this out and start kind of, you know, where that will meet whatever I lay down with a larger face brush. Now, the part that I'm totally going to fail at with this is the eyebrows. I am obsessed with Katie's eyebrows. Oh, it is like my dream eyebrow. You know, at one point I had gotten microblading done. I talk about this, we know. And I do regret it a little bit. I love that like just very flicky, feathery brow look. And Katie does that so well. She, you know, pastes them up and then just adds brow hairs, which I do a lot. But because I still have my microblading underneath, it's a little bit more completely saturated. So we will do the best we can. But that's going to be the one place where I have like brow FOMO. All right, I'm going to take this eye shading brush from Luxie and pop a little of this on the lid, and I'm going to keep this like inner area open. It looks like she has a bit of something light, whether it's like a bit of a highlight powder or an eyeshadow towards the inner part. She might actually have even used like a crayon and blended that in, something like light and shimmery. So I will end up doing that at some point. So I just want to lay a little bit of this color down on the lid, and then I'm going to try to take this brush and mock a little bit of that shape. Okay, I feel comfortable with that. It's not quite as sharp. Like, I feel like she has that very sharp like continuation from her nose, but she has a much sharper nose shape than I do too. So Just wanted to get a bit of that. So now we're gonna start building up a bit of the blush. Slow as you go, you can always add more. I'm gonna go through with this Moda brush. I got this in a BoxyCharm and I want more of these. I need to look at the site to see if I can find these. I love this brush. It just has these like very like fluffy, it's so fluffy. Like it just, it's just so light. So it's really gonna give us a very like good dusting of product. And then that way we can kind of like keep it building. So I'm gonna start where the color is most intense, which is sort of at the like hollow of the temple, and just like blur this in. And my baby hairs are gonna wanna join the party. So we will just ignore them for a little while. And I'm just gonna be like building this in a blurred fashion. I like to sort of like tilt my face to be able to see the way that the color is laying, but come back straight on to see how that contoured shape is looking. So I like to do a bit of both just to make sure that the symmetry and, you know, the overall shape that we're looking for is there. So again, just looking straight on so that I can see what it looks like when I don't have light hitting the side of my face, and then also just turning to make sure that the application is blended and even. And as you can see, I tried, well, you can't see right now because it's out of frame, but I tried to do the slicked back bun or ponytail that Katie has going on, which was a good one for tonight since I am in desperate need of a hair wash. So thank you, Katie. I have one more blush that I kind of want to use. So I have this blush from Kiko Milano. This is part of the Wonder Woman launch. This is the Starlit blush in Athena Strategy. Now this has a bit of a reflect to it. Not much, but it does have a little bit of a sheen. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that or not. I think this is pretty. I don't think she has a lot of sheen in her blush, but I thought it would just make a really good like topper on the cheeks. I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go through with the Spotlight Duster from Sigma, and I'm just going to put it into the very tip of the tulip, if you will. So anytime I'm wanting to like not have a big wad of product, I always take the brush and then I always like circle it into the mirror just to like really work that product into the bristles, because I really truly don't use these compacts that often, like the compact mirror. So I don't mind if it just gets covered in powder, but then I don't have to worry about getting too much product on my face. So just dusting that over the high points. Okay, I like that. I think it just added a little bit of sheen. It might just be something that I can see, and I'm okay with that. I think I'm actually gonna take a little bit of that on the Luxie brush that we used and just pop that over the lid as well. For the center of the eye, let me see what we have that we could work with. All right, I think that the shade is a bit darker than what Katie used, but I'm gonna go through with the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Rose Gold. So this is just a nice like sheeny, champagne-y. It's not really rose gold at all, but I'm gonna pop that on the inner corner and then just blend that out a bit. I have a feeling she used a cream. It looks like a cream to me. So that's what I'm going with. I don't quite have one that's quite that light, and I honestly prefer to like pull in that lightness a little bit further than what she has, so that's just something I'm gonna do for my eye shape. All right, then I'm just taking a concealer brush to sort of like blend this out a bit. Knowing Katie, she probably just took her finger and went whack whack and looked glorious. I think I'm gonna just try to add a little bit of that using the brush. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm trying to decide if I need a little bit more glow. We can wait till the end. All right, so looking at the rest of her eye, now she has a good amount of mascara on. It doesn't look like she has lashes on, but she might, but I'm not gonna be putting lashes on. It looks like she has just the tiniest, it doesn't look like she has eyeliner on her lid, but I'm gonna use a gel liner just to do a bit of push liner. I am going to use the Juvia's Place liner. I am in love with this liner. I just recently opened it up. I got it a while ago and I just recently opened it up and I love it. It is so incredible. So I'm just gonna take this on an e.l.f. Liner brush and just pop that in. Just push it into my lashes a bit before we apply mascara. That way we can get that, you know, more like rich look right next to our lash line. So I don't even know if it shows up on camera or not, but can you see the difference that just pushing that gel liner into the lashes? And I did go in and line my tight line as well, but it just gives you that like little bit more richness at your lash line. So I'm gonna go finish the other eye. I just wanted to show you that if you feel like you're someone that doesn't have enough lid space for eyeliner, but you want your like lash line to look a little bit thicker, push liner can look really nice, or using a little bit of water, or using a little bit of liner in your waterline. But like just pushing that into the lashes, it just does so much. And you know, it doesn't have to be like super flawless because you're not working up on the lid. So if it isn't perfect, you don't see like a wibble wobble. So I really love this. All right, enough about push lining. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this eye, put on some mascara. I'll be right back. All right, mascara is on, feeling pretty good. I could certainly put eyelashes with this, but I don't really feel like it. It is 11 o'clock at night. What is the point? So now let's address these eyebrows. I'm going to use the two products that I've been enjoying lately. I'm gonna go through with the Anastasia Brow Freeze just to push up the few hairs that I do have. Now, I definitely have more hair here and then just a couple back here. So then what I will do is go in with a brow pen to add some hairs. I'm probably gonna use the Anastasia Brow Pen. I have a couple that I kind of flip between, but I think that's the one that I will use tonight. I definitely obviously have darker, more filled in eyebrows than Katie, so it won't be quite the like wispy ethereal look, but we'll do our best. So I'm just gonna speed through this. I don't know if anybody is even interested in this. I've done like a wispy brow tutorial on my channel many moons ago, so I will link that one. So that's like an older video, but I will make sure to have that down in the description box as well. If you want to see an updated video, let me know. It's a little bit different, obviously some different products as they've come along, a little bit better equipment as I've come along, but I will leave that original one down below. If you want to see more details, let me know, I can do another. Okay, brows are done. I feel like I did a pretty good job. Katie has a little bit more of like a lifted shape. I can't quite get that because of my microblading shape, but we did pretty good. I always struggle when I'm like doing my brows lifted because when I don't push them up, I almost like use my long hairs as a comb over to not show how like bald my actual brows are. But then when I do push them up, it shows that like legit some of these hairs are like as long as my eyelashes. So I should probably go in and trim them. It's been a bit, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. Anyway, enough about my brows. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face now. I'm gonna go through with the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Mist. I do really enjoy this one. Normally I go through and spritz my face before I put on mascara, but I forgot about that, but oh well, we're just gonna do it now. Now, if you are not new to my channel, you know that I adore this mist. I think it is so wonderful. The spray on it is just so lovely. It's like a juicy mist. It gives you a little bit more of a glow and hydration, but it's not at all oily. I love it. I love it so much. So now I don't feel like I need to add a highlighter. I feel like we're good. I'm not gonna add any other glow. I don't know if Katie did or not, but I don't really see a specific highlight. And since we've got so much like blushing going on, I think that using that little bit of that sheen blush works really well. I don't even think you can get this anymore, but I adore it. I totally just picked it up because I love Wonder Woman and I thought the packaging was beautiful. I'm a little bit sad because when it came, it was like scratched. So that's kind of a bummer, but I do really like it. So now we're just gonna move on to lips. So I think I'm going to try out this combo. I'm gonna use the Ace Beauté lip liner in Be Peachy, and then we're gonna go through with the Jason Wu Hot Fluff in Eclair. I think that's gonna be a good shade. Yeah, let's go ahead and try this duo. Her lips are definitely a bit more on the matte side. I don't see anything super glossy. If anything, it's more like a satin, so I think we should be good. I definitely feel like that lip liner color did us justice. It's, you know, a little bit of that like peachy brown. Her lip color looks almost on the side of like orangey nude. Just tiptoeing towards that in the middle. We're gonna put this on. I think that this is gonna be a little bit more pink. Maybe not actually. I don't feel like it's as light towards the inner portion. I'm gonna grab something to like pop in the center here. I'm gonna blot this a bit and then we'll pop something in the center to like lighten it up a little. Now, since I'm using multi-sticks and it's sitting right here, I'm gonna use this Sweet Peach Peony. This one is a little bit more like creamy, but I'm okay with that. My lips are so dry right now, so dry. Sorry, Katie, I'm not really doing your beautiful pout any justice. All right, the final thing, I am going to do a little bit of a beauty mark situation just because it's Katie, why not? Let's see, so we're just gonna grab a little bit of a silicone applicator. I'm gonna actually go into my gel liner, the brown one from Juvia's Place. So I actually have a little like freckle, if you will, right here. And we'll do one down here where I have a spot right now. Now, obviously that's a bit over the top, like as far as, you know, the look, that's actually what Katie has, but I do think that they are so beautiful. So this was just an opportunity for me to get a beautiful little beauty mark moment. So you guys will have to let me know what you think. I am starting to feel like I'm almost a bit too glowy right under the eye. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of the RCMA powder right here. I just get so dang, like my skin is dry, but I do get a little bit extra glowy right here. And I don't want it super glowy right there. So I didn't nail the colors like quite exactly, but I feel like it's a flattering tone for me. And that's very much what you should do in this situation. You want to use a blush color that is flattering for your skin, something that also, you know, brings out your eyes. I mean, this shade looks great with Katie's eye color. So I think that this is good. I love it. I would totally wear this. Like, this would be something that I could work into my everyday routine. Now, well, not every day, but something that I would wear out for date night or something like that. So let me know if this is a look that you would wear for Valentine's Day or a spring look or just for fun. I am going to have fun doing a bit more blush draping, I feel like. I think it's gonna be good for spring, or like when I'm wishing it was spring, like right now. Now, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me through this. Let me know if you think I nailed this look. I do really enjoy it, and I guess that's all that matters. Don't forget to check out the other content creators. I will have all of their channel links listed down below. I hope you're doing well. Again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you did enjoy it, please consider giving it a like, subscribe, and stick around for all the fun. We have some beautiful videos coming up in the future. Now, if you are watching this video on Valentine's Day, I do have a bit of a double feature today. I will be doing a live swatching some new indie shadows. I'm very excited. I have Cleona and some pastel roses. That will be tonight. If you want to see that, go ahead and make sure to hit subscribe and click that notification bell so you get notified when that video starts. So again, I want to thank you guys so much, and I will see you really soon.